Okay, day 160, Awan Brotherhood. Sorry, the production quality was poor this morning, so this is going to kind of be a recap. Of I was all over Michigan yesterday. Drove 500 miles, so I sorry I was away from producing any episodes other than the one early in the morning and then the Tim Black show late at night. But the bottom line is that both this Tahir Javed, this ISI guy that came in from Pakistan, in 1999 when Hillary was just finishing up with Bill Clinton. That's when Gulen came in, and basically they came in to do the Russia plan. The Russia plan was Graham Fuller's plan to weaken the Russians through drugs, and then all the other rat lines that go along with drugs, and then to pay for the weapons. The only problem is that Hillary is implementing that plan right now, and I'll show this through evidence, on the United States, using the Muslim Brotherhood, using these Awan brothers, who are basically acting as the intelligence officers, and these Muslim Brotherhood guys, and La Raza to some extent, in the enforcement area, are basically the foot soldiers. Now I know that sounds hard to believe, but it's actually going to be true. So I talked about this doctor. So this is soft coup. When you do a soft coup, what you do is you nibble at the edges. You drain people from their money through long convalescences and so forth. You overdose people so that you can get bodies for transplants, that sort of thing. And you might say, oh, that's really a macabre subject. Well, here's a doctor who had 5 overdoses on methadone in a very small town of Lapeer, Michigan, in the space of 7 months, 20 months, excuse me. He almost had another 32-year-old woman, and these people are young. They're in their 40s, just a little into 50. These people were very young, and I said it wrong this morning. It's Families Against Narcotics. That Pfeiffer gal. They started in the basement of a Methodist church in Michigan because they're saying, what is going on with all these people ODing? I mean, it's off the chart. It's off the chart even higher this year than it was when Trump was talking about it last year in the election. But they're connected to these Democratic donors that plead guilty to this $33 million Medicaid fraud scheme. It's the Javid brothers. The Javid brothers are running these doctors. They call the Pfeiffer, the gal from FAN, called them the monster doctors. But these are the Javed brothers recruited them, and they went to places like Woodward Urgent Care here in just outside of Detroit here. And then the Javid brothers lived here in this nice house, and they moved even closer. They had a whole bunch of nursing homes and so forth. So every stage, so the nursing home, and then you get into the more hospice care, and then you get into the palliative care. What they're doing is they're bringing in the illegal drugs from Pakistan, watering down the drugs, and taking the real ones and selling those through the convenience store loophole. So where have we seen this before? The Awan brothers did this with Al-Attar, the $2.3 million in fake billing there, and the connections to Hezbollah and Gulen. So this guy right here, Tahir, oh, by the way, I'll just say this earlier. The Javed brothers, for some reason, they split the names. The two brothers, the 45-year-old and the 40-year-old brother, both are Javeds in this case, and they're running around the Rolexes and the Mercedes just like the Awan brothers. But for some reason, they split the names, and when they split the names, it's Tahir and Javed, the same as this guy, Tahir and Javed. So it's U.S. versus Tahir. I don't know why they sharded the names, but for some reason they felt they needed to in that case. But anyway, this is the repeating pattern here now of the Awan brothers in Washington, D.C. Again, he not only owns the rice shipping, which is just a restatement of the old Hillary Arkansas rice line that went through Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, and laundered through convenience stores there, that he's now running that in Texas. But he's not only doing that, he runs Riceland Hospital, and he also has hospice care, and he has an imaging company that does imaging on these folks. So I'm not the one, it's Alabama and DEA that said 17 of his convenience stores were laundering money and then sending the money to Yemen, which is just a pass-through for Saudi Arabia. So anyway, again, this is Hillary's associate, not mine. Amjad Awan, BCCI, longtime friend of Mark Rich. He laundered, this is him, he laundered the money. He was CIA's man that did the Pakistan to Turkey rat line. He's the one who came to the United States and helped establish the rat line through Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. This is Burt Lance's bank doing the Georgia money laundering, Mark Rich's bank doing the Florida money laundering, and then it went out to, finally got out to Jeffrey Epstein, I'm assuming in the Virgin Islands. But anyway, here's Graham Fuller's plan. And Graham Fuller's plan was to use the narcotics that were being brought in from Turkey, Pakistan to Turkey, to knock down Russia. The only thing that's different here is that Hillary used Gulen and Javed to implement this plan against the United States, as unbelievable as that sounds. And that is what Gulen is doing. It's not an open jihad. It's what Gulen himself has said is a soft jihad. He said, don't hatch the egg before the chick is born. And he's the one who's calling when to do that. He's the one who called for that in Turkey against Erdogan, and the coup was unsuccessful. And that's obviously been in the news. Again, the Awan brothers have the pharmacy. Awan brothers have the Pakistan 111th, which is the obvious enforcement arm of the ISI. All the 111th references. Awan has the rice mills. He has the secret router company. They sell off technology every 4 years to Biofan and other Wall Street hedge funds. And he's taking 4 rice orders 16 months apart, just like all of his other proprietaries, the car companies and the housing companies. So again, this isn't anti-Muslim, this isn't anti-Pakistani. These 2 Pakistani women are saying the 3 stepsons threatened them to kill them and to get their father's inheritance. So again, she was trapped in the house in Virginia. They were hacking her phone, so they had hacking skills. They fled to Pakistan and they offshored the money. So again, Tahir Javid also has ties to ISI, and he's wanted for murder in Pakistan, for killing folks in Pakistan. So you can, this isn't just, if you are going to kill people who are involved and get in the way of your rat line, killing somebody who's 80 years old with opiates is nothing. So anyway, that'll be the wrap up for this morning if you couldn't see the slides this morning.